He's so controlling. I can't do anything without him.
I mean, it's a big issue. It's almost as big as drugs. And you hear about that all the time in schools. You hear about it just at work, but you never hear about, abuse, and it's all over.
What do you think you're doing? I can't believe it.
When you tell an alcoholic they're an alcoholic, they don't listen. They're like, no, I don't have a problem. That's exactly how it is. You're like, no, I'm not in an abusive relationship. Until you step out of it and you actually look at the big picture.
You keep kidding yourself. You're thinking, it's got to get better. It's going to get better, Then you realize it's not. And you realize you've been kidding yourself all this time. Well, you're in way too deep.
It was our first day of high school. So it was like, there was new people, lots of new people, and he was there with his brother. It was basically like he didn't have the time for me at that moment.
Yeah, so I don't interrupt.
So I guess he wanted me to go away.
It doesn't concern you. Get out of here!
And he just turned around and hit me in my arm. And that was the very first time that I ever was hit. And I just remember a lot of people saw it and were just looking at me like they couldn't believe that I let him do that. Not that he did it, but that I let him do it.
Last summer, I had gone to summer school, and there was this guy in my summer school class, and he was your everyday football player. All the girls loved him. He had nice style, he had the money, everything. And he picked me. He liked me. So, of course, I was like, oh my God. And I had always been the outcast at school, never really hanging out with the popular group. And so, we started dating, and then about 2 weeks into the relationship, he was telling me, if you don't give me the attention I need, then I'm gonna go get it from somebody else. And at first I was scared. I was like, oh, I don't want to lose him. So, I gave him the attention. And he was making me not hang out with my friends, making me go over to his house at 2 o'clock in the morning. Ridiculous stuff.
I had a relationship where they would try to be controlling, tell me I couldn't dance or wear certain things. When y'all go to parties or dances together and they, watching you real closely, when he started telling me, oh, you can't dance with people. You have to, when you go to a party, you have to be by yourself. You can't dance. Or you can't go to parties when I go, or stuff like that. That's when it started happening. It started trying to be controlling and trying to control you, telling you who you can talk to and you can't have male friends and stuff like that. That's just signs. I would try to compromise, but compromising wouldn't work, really.
Whenever we were not together and I'd be trying to hang out with my boys, have a little free time with them, cell phone would blow up constantly. Always wanting to know, where are you at? What are you doing? What time are you coming over? Well, I don't know. Every 30 seconds I had to pick up the phone. And then, of course, if I don't answer it, then I have a voicemail, text message, where are you at? What are you doing? There's never any free time.
I was 15 years old, and for the first month and a half, it was perfect. I couldn't ask for more, but I guess things just weren't going well, and so we broke up. When we get back together and we break up, I don't know how many times, probably over a dozen, but he, said I shouldn't wear makeup, or I shouldn't wear that shirt because it shows too much, or I shouldn't wear those shorts because they're too short, or just stuff like that.
Go into class! Who do you think you are?
He wanted to spend all of his time with me, but yet he could still have his own friends that, he can go and do whatever. But I had to isolate myself at home. I lost all my friends, and I didn't do anything except sit at home and watch TV. Something felt wrong.
They put you down. They tell you, you're so ugly, you're so fat, nobody else is going to want to get with you. and then you start to believe it after a while.
I mean, anytime we went anywhere, it was always me that was reaching in my wallet to pull out, for the bills, for the clothes, for the movies, for the concert tickets. We both had part-time jobs. Why didn't she offer to pay for anything? And then she started to, disrespect me in front of my friends, making jokes about me, flirting with other guys, just bringing me down in front of other people. I don't want that.
Why aren't you wearing the shirt I gave you?
You can't tell me how to dress?
This is too low cut. It's too tight. You know how many guys are going to be looking at you with that on?
I mean, at first it was just like, well, you can't wear too short of shorts, but then it went to like spaghetti strap shirts, and it went to where it was just jeans and like long sleeves, that's all. And then it got to where who I couldn't talk to. If he didn't like the girl, I couldn't talk to her. I couldn't talk to boys. And then it got to where I couldn't go anywhere without calling. I couldn't go to family's house, even if it was family right down the street. He didn't want me there. He'd rather me be at home, even if it was by myself, just so he knew where I was. If things didn't go his way, he threatened to hit me or something like that, and it got crazy.
He had this thing he had to pass before I did. When he found out that I had all A's in my classes, he didn't let me study from then on until I got him passing. So I'd go over to his house every night, tutor him, make him do his work. But if I pulled out my homework, he'd take it and not let me study.
I guess you start thinking you're not going to get another one. You're willing to put up with anything. At least I was.
It's like you forget details about the bad times, but you remember details about the good times. And I mean, it's a struggle, because it's like one minute you're like, I want out of this, and I'm gonna get out of this no matter what it takes. But then the next minute you're like, oh, I don't want to, and then you go back, and it's like it's off and on, off and on. But then as it starts to escalate and get worse, you kind of felt like you'll never find anybody else, or that if you do, they're gonna all be that way.
But when you sit there and forgive, they're gonna start taking advantage of you and stop respecting you.
I was just depressed, and my grades had dropped. I had made all A's. You don't want to shower in the morning. You don't want to get up and shower. You just get up, put clothes on, go to school. If you're mentally abused, then that can shoot you down just as much as a fist could.
Like the first couple of weeks, if you told her something that she didn't like, she would like break down.
I called you 6 times.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, I got no message.
I called your mom. She didn't know where you were. I called your friends. They didn't know where you were.
Oh, friends?
Yes. I called you.
And I was like, well, this is a weak one, so I can tell her whatever I want to, and she'll do it. And that's what made me feel like I could tell her to do anything, like where she can go and who she can talk to, and told her like, well, I don't like that shirt, so don't wear it. So she picked another shirt. She was crying because I was doing all this stuff. At the time, it made me feel good. I just liked the power, the control. When I was thinking about it, I was like, man, I'm a punk. I can't believe I did all that stuff to her. And she was nice to me.
I had a party like a week ago or whatever, and he was there, and he was like with his friends, and I was like, come over here now, and all this other stuff, and he'll come. So I was like, then when I went home, I was like, nah, that's not how I'm supposed to act, Where I feel myself being kind of controlling, but I try to stop myself.
Yeah, you can't change them, which is what I'd always told myself. I was like, oh, he'll change, he cares about me, he's gonna change. They're not gonna change themselves unless they want to change themselves. When I was in school, I didn't know any of the signs of controlling or abusive relationships until I had gotten in one, and I went to counseling, and then I learned, and now I see it all the time.
It just happened in health class one day. We were watching, we got on the topic of abuse, and we were watching a video, and that's when it clicked. And the way that relationship was is exactly the way that mine and my boyfriend was. If your boyfriend starts telling you that it's not important to hang out with your family anymore, and that it's more important to hang out with him, that's the biggest warning sign ever.
I kind of felt bad about myself. I started wondering, You know, what kind of a person am I? What do I want out of life? You know, is this how I want to be treated the rest of my life? The answer is no. You know, I want respect. I want to be able to give someone respect, and I want respect back.
Just ways that, you know, he would talk to me. I wouldn't even let my own father talk to me like that. I mean, he was putting me down more than I'd ever been put down in my life. And so it was just like, you know, you don't realize it until you step back from it and take some time and look at it.
There was this one guy that tried talking to me. I was on the computer.
Just working on some schoolwork that needs to get done.
Oh, you know, maybe if you gave me your phone number, I wouldn't be so distracting.
He got mad at me just because I told him to leave me alone, so he just started cursing me out.
It's just a phone number. Why can't you just give it to me?
Okay,
God.
if it's just a phone number, why is it such a big deal?
Yeah, it's just a stupid computer. Whoops, wow. Yeah, see ya.
I felt like, what's going on? You know, I don't even know you. I just told the principal, and she dealt with it, and she took care of it.
Like, the first time you even see them be abusive, or like they're gonna hit you, or they get loud and they don't know how to control it, then that's when you should leave a person.
I don't think you should waste any time when you even have a little bit of a feeling that it's gonna get abusive. Just either get away and just break up with them. I mean, don't talk to them. And if it gets to the point where they're not leaving you alone, then take it to somebody. Take it to your parents. Take it to the police. Do something. I mean, it's like you don't ever have to be abused by anyone.
Ask a family, ask a friend, you know, ask anyone. The important thing is that you're not dealing with it yourself, that you're trying to talk with someone and work it through. Because you're not going to deal with it alone. You shouldn't have to.
I just did it cold turkey. I broke it off, didn't answer the calls, you know, changed my number, everything. And I salute anybody who can do that.
Get your stuff back on your feet, and then when you realize that you're ready for a relationship again, get to know that person and know that he won't make the mistakes, or she won't make the mistakes that your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend did.
Think about before you start yelling and, you know, throwing things. You can always sit down and think about stuff. I mean, you could talk it out. There's a moment right before you hit someone that you could stop. You could say, wait a minute, you know, this is not right.
Basically, you gotta give respect to get respect. Doing what you're doing to your partner is just gonna make your partner feel bad, and you want to see your partner be happy.